My brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. The Pharisees came forward and began to argue with Jesus, seeking for him a sign from heaven to test him. He sighed from the depth of his spirit and said, "Why does this generation seek a sign? Amen, I say to you, no sign will be given to this generation." And then he left them, got into the boat again, and went off to the other shore. The Gospel of the Lord. In St. John's account of Jesus' ministry, and of course John is the last gospel that's put into written form and shows already the maturing of a Christian community and a deeper understanding theologically as to what the meaning of Jesus is. John makes a point of giving 7 signs, which for other words might be for healings, but there's specific miracles, if you will, that are meant to be not miracles for the sake of a miracle, but rather a sign as to what God's plan is, an indication as to the progression in the message of salvation with Jesus' coming to the earth. And so we find an allusion to that in this earlier account from Mark, where today the Pharisees ask Jesus for a sign, and we're chapter 8 in Mark, and so there's already been a number of miracle stories that have happened. He's ended up feeding some people that were in need with just a few fish and a few loaves of bread. He's healed somebody who was not able to see, and someone else who could not walk, and someone else who had passed away and was brought back again. All very powerful signs. And of course, in each instance, they were an allusion to the prophecies that marked especially the book of Isaiah in the Old Testament tradition, where when the Messiah comes, it'll be a whole new world order, a whole new creation happening. And that all these signs of the blind being able to see and the deaf being able to hear and those who were not able to walk to be able to walk again are indications of God kind of shaking up the world as we understand it and giving new hope and new vision. And even though all these signs are being offered, of course, we find that because there was not faith present for many, they don't see the signs for what they are. They're constantly looking for something else or something more. And so Jesus at this point, when he's asked again by them for another sign, just sort of sighs to himself and says, "You're not going to get any sign because you don't understand them. When I give them to you, you don't read them the way you should read them." And so he walks away and does nothing in this regard. All of us sometimes are looking for signs from God, and sometimes they're very subtle ones, sometimes they're very intimate ones just between us and him. Sometimes they're very blatant in what he's suggesting to us by what other people around us see in us or are calling us to. In each instance, of course, we have to, unlike the Pharisees and the scribes, be people of faith and to recognize that perhaps, just perhaps, through these signs, as unusual as they are or as not being wanted by us, that they are the way indeed that God is trying to get through to us to help us perhaps take another route, another direction, or change or kind of reform the things that we are doing wrong in our life.